Hey everyone, how's it going? Back here with a cool little deck profile for you. This one is a villain control hand hate deck. So, since it's villains only, the first villain here is General Zod, who says while you control only villains, your opponent's constant effects are turned off. This is pretty cool for shutting down opponents' Harley Quinns and their Constantines. It's a cool little tech card you get to play because the deck only has villains. You keep him out when you need him, but he's not a must play. He just helps generate. He's just an effect that you do get to activate in this deck. Play 2 Deathstroke here. Deathstroke's got a really good stat line. And his ability to KO a target pushed character is really nice. You can just let your opponent's going to attack you or use their push abilities, so Deathstroke being able to come in and pick off a Green Lantern or a Harley Quinn or a really powerful attacker that came through is really nice. He can't take out Ultra or Superman usually, but that's okay. Play 2 Sinestro here. This card really disrupts your opponent's flow. Being able to stop the next time they draw a card is really nice, considering there's a lot of ways in this deck to shut down your opponent's hand with other means. The ability to stop them from drawing into more ways to get back into the game is really important. Sinestro's one entering ability here says the next time your opponent would draw one card, skip it. So you stop your opponent from drawing in their next draw phase, potentially, which is really nice. Play 1 Dark Side Cross Rare. I'm probably going to go up to 2 of this, but for now, just 1. It says when it comes into play, your opponent discards a card at random from your hand. So that, in tandem with followed with this, your opponent's down now 2 cards, while you continue to beat on them with your villains. I play 3 Black Adam. Black Adam's got really powerful stats, gives you 5 MP. He does say you have to discard a card when he comes into play, but as you'll see with my event selection in this deck, it's not too detrimental to have to discard a card, and you tend to stay at a bigger advantage on your opponent, so if you have to give up a card for such powerful stats, it's generally worth it. I play 2 Doomsday here. His effect is a constant effect that's negate the effect of all battle cards. So that's pretty crazy. It shuts down your opponent's recycling battle cards. That in conjunction with Darkseid and Sinestro, you're really slowing down your opponent's way to dig through their deck for more cards as you're picking off the cards that are in play already. I only played 2 of it because I do want to use my battle cards too from time to time, but you kind of use him as you need him, and there's ways in the deck to get him off the board if you need him to, and you just kind of hold on to him and drop him when it's the right time. Lastly, 2 Poison Ivy. One thing the villains lack, other than Black Adam, is MP generation, and Poison Ivy's constant ability to generate 2 MP at the beginning of every turn. If you get a couple of her out and your character locked, you don't really mind because you're generating 4 MP at the beginning of every turn, and you're going to be able to play all of the battle cards and all the events you want with a couple of this gal in play. So even with 1, being able to play some of your other lower MP generating villains is going to get you the MP that you need to cast all your cards. Moving on to the events, we play 3 Echolocation. If you guys were Panini DBZ guys, Stare Down was a really good card. And that's what this card does. It look at your opponent's hand and make them discard a card. So, being able to play this card and get rid of their last character and then drop a Sinestro to make sure they're not going to draw again is just a surefire way to lose some friends and score some victory points. This in combination with Darkseid, you can make your opponent discard so many cards, and it has a hefty MP cost, but like I was saying with Poison Ivy, you've got the means to make up extra MP, even though the villains are generating a bit less than usual. Next I play 2 Ingenuity. This card says discard your hand and then draw 5 cards. Since I'm playing Doomsday and Black Adam, which inherently put me behind as well, being able to use the MP that I am generating to ditch my 1 or 2 cards to refill my hand is a really cool option. Most of the time, this deck isn't going to be sitting on a bunch of cards. I mean, if you're up against a mill deck or a huge Hawkman deck or something, they might be making you draw cards, but you're not complaining if you are. So this gets you out of a jam, and it uses the MP you're generating. It's a high MP cost, but the deck is designed to pay for these high MP event cards. It's kind of control-y. It's kind of a shutdown deck. Play 1, Resurrection of Power. This is one of the ways I was saying you can get rid of your own Doomsday. It's kind of fitting he's on the card, but if you've been shutting off your opponent's cards and it comes to you, you can clear your Doomsday off the board, put your battle cards online, cycle through a bunch of battle cards while you throw your attacks, drop a new character, make them so they can't draw a card. And this is one of the few events that's free draw power. It costs you nothing. And destroying your own guys for draw power can be good, especially if they have attacks on them, or if you need the board space. I'm growing to like this card a lot, actually. I play 2 Rebirth. The deck with Ingenuity and some of the battle cards makes me inherently discard a lot of cards. So does Black Adam. So this card, in combination with Reinforcements, as you've seen as a theme in a lot of my decks, help me recycle and reuse my best battle cards when I need to. So speaking of battle cards, most of the battle cards that I'm going to show you here generate a lot of MP. So starting with this is Intelligence 1. This is a cool little attack that even Doomsday can throw with his wimpy Intelligence 1. And if Doomsday's not online, it's really selective on who can block it. I like it because it gives me 2 MP. I'm not too worried about using it on attack or defense, really. It's just a nice little small attack that has the potential to not be blocked for a free victory point. I can't pass that up. Playing 2 Strength 1. This is the draw discard. Again, if it's turned off, it's a +2 MP attack that connects just as powerfully as a rank 7 does to the face. So I like that I can filter for Ingenuity or the other battle cards that I need, or it's just MP gain for those expensive events. Next I play 2 Special 2. Being able to turn off key powers is kind of a nice thing. I should be hating their deck enough that I don't need this card, so this card could potentially come out of the deck, but there are times where your deck's not doing quite what you need it to, right when you need it to, so being able to stop one of their effects for a turn to get your lockdown online might be worth playing. It is a +1 MP, so it's not hurting you to play it. It's a great card. Play 1 Intelligence 3. When used on defense, it can push a character, so this can like set up a fresh Harley Quinn to be killed by whoever kills the push characters. Deathstroke, that's his name. And it gives you 3 MP. This is a pretty good attack. If I ever go up on Deathstroke, I think I'll go up on this card too, just because it helps me kill the characters my opponent does somehow manage to find. I play 3 Special 4 here. This card says each player discards a card from their hand. So along with Echolocation and Sinestro and Darkside and the ability to reuse all of those, my opponent is going to have a low hand size. And with Echolocation, you make sure to target out their draw power stuff so they're left with just what they're going to be drawing, and then you slowly discard that stuff out of their hand, because they will run out of resources if you strip them of their draw power and shut down their draw power in battle cards and then start to make them choose what cards to discard. You really start to strip their options of a comeback. I play 2 Special 4. It's kind of like this is Strength 4. It's kind of like the Strength 1, except for it says draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards from your hand. So it's just 1 more draw and 1 more discard for the same NP. It's just a little bit of a bigger attack. I liked going 2 and 2 on those because this is just a more hefty chunk to throw on a meaty target if you have to take a block. Next, for those big 7 stars, I play this card that says when it's used as an attack, your opponent discards a card from their hand. So if for some reason they were able to get back into things and Doomsday is off the board, your Black Adams, your Dark Sides, they're throwing this attack, your opponent's discarding even more cards. You have plenty of ways to reuse it, to get it back. It's a really great attack. Lastly, I play multi-7 here. Your opponent gets a victory point deck. Because it's Doomsday, being able to drop Doomsday and then instantly go into this next turn is really nice. Get it in the yard, get it out of the way and thrown, get the big MP bonus, negate its effect. Also, to go for the win or like victory point 6 or 7 with this card, if you have to give your opponent victory point 1 or 2, it's kind of worth it. It's such a big attack. Sometimes you need the MP. But because it's Doomsday, you can shut it off, and it's a 7 for a +3. It's really a powerful attack. So that's the villain hand tempo control. It's kind of a weird list. Let me know what you think. What would you change? Trying to keep it villains only. Should Darkseid go up? Maybe 2 or 3 Darkseid? He's really good. Let me know. Thank you.